That's right. Welcome to Room Country Forum. It is 9:04. Suzanne Michaels with you, sitting in for Randy Rogerson, of course. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Banner Payson Medical Center, Little Stinker Septic Supply, George Henry Plumbing and Heating, Off-Road Trash Company, Sweets by Kim Ross, and the ITD Group Computer Services. Thank you, thank you. Well, it's Friday. We all know what that means. That is, the movie guys are in the house. Absolutely. We also have, well, in order, in no particular order. We're not going from age or beauty.
Go from the guys to the guy.
We have Craig Trepon from the Sawmill Theaters. We have Andy McKinney, the movie guy. And we have Tina Terry,
The movie guy.
who is a longtime friend and colleague as well, and I'm so glad to see you again.
I'm ditto.
Thank you. Well, welcome. So, Captain Marvel is just hot with a capital H, am I right?
Oh yeah, this
Okay.
is the one. 155 million in 3 days. 450 million worldwide in 3 days. Where are we at now? 650 right now?
550.
550?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It keeps going up.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. No, this thing really took. This is part of the Marvel universe. We've got we're only 6 weeks away from Endgame, Avengers Endgame, the next one, and this Captain Marvel movie leads directly into that.
I see. What do you think the attraction is with these comic type movies? Captain Marvel, the Avengers, so on.
Escapism.
Sure. Well, sure. Yeah, escape is definitely part of it. There's it feeds off of the comic book culture, so there's that, and these are good movies. They throw a couple $100 million at these things. You can see it on the screen. They're not in any way a cheap film. They have good writers, good directors. They bring in excellent actors, and they're solid films.
Sure. And they attract people of all ages, so that's a plus as well.
There is that too, and like I said, this is this movie is kind of a standalone film, but it is also part of this whole storyline, and it's kind of like a TV series really at this point. This is 15. Yeah, there've been a lot of Marvel films now, and they're all kind of tied together, more or less loosely, and
Sure. Leave you on the edge of your seat, waiting
right.
for the next
Well,
one.
yeah, exactly.
Neat. All right. Well,
And Craig mentioned the good acting, good writing, good direction, and stuff like that. The Captain Marvel herself is an actress called Brie Larson, and she got an Academy Award a couple of years ago for a movie called The Room. Very kind of unusual sort of a movie, but it was just a small budget movie, and so she's a genuine actress. She's not just a movie star or an action actor. She's a good, solid, recognized by the industry, solid actress. She's beautiful. And she has the athletic ability that we actually believe that she can do the things that she does in the movie. So, and as Craig says, that these things are all hooked in together in one gigantic continuing story that's been going on for years now, and there's a huge fan base for these that has built up over the years. I can't wait for the next Avengers movie. Is 6 weeks from now. At the end of the last Avengers movie, half the people in the galaxy, not just half the people in Newark, half the people in the entire galaxy were snuffed by an evildoer. And Captain Marvel is a new character. A year ago, we brought in Black Panther as a new character, also with a standalone movie, and now he's regular with the entire thing. It's all hooked together. We've got the Avengers, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
that's who you're calling the problem in your house, right? Yeah.
And what we're seeing right now is Disney is kind of starting up their engines here, and what we're going to see for the rest of the year is Disney just take off on this incredible run of film. Disney's been dominating the box office for quite some time now, and we've got Captain Marvel is making huge money. Avengers Endgame is going to be one of those that really the only question here is if it's going to break records. It's obviously going to make huge money. But then we're into Aladdin. We've got Dumbo actually coming out in 2 weeks.
Wow.
We're going into Toy Story, Lion King. They're redoing these things. We've got a second Frozen film coming up at the end of the year. We've got a Star Wars movie coming up at the end of the year, and this is all Disney, and these are all these are all going to make close to $1 billion, if not more, per film. So
My goodness.
they're really on a tear right now.
And last year, the Avengers movie that I referred to worldwide made over $2 billion on the movie. I mean, it's just absolutely astonishing what is possible. And part of what's going on is the overseas market. As people have become more prosperous, they are able to go to the movie theaters, and they like go and see. I mean, these are, as Craig said, these are really well-made movies, and some of them, like the Ant-Man movies, are really funny, have lots of good jokes in it, or Guardians of the Galaxy, also lots, very, very funny, and particularly Deadpool, just hilarious for people with a certain bend to their sense of humor. So they're
You're
really
saying you're
terrific.
bent, right, Andy?
I'm sorry?
You're saying you're bent.
Yeah, well, that's true. And the plots are not so complex and convoluted and nuanced. There's the bad guys and the good guys. So and you go someplace like Cairo or Shanghai, particularly Shanghai, as the Chinese movie market is huge now. Often big budget movies will make more money in China than they do in the United States these days.
Wow.
So you've got this big, colorful, spectacular movie that can translate into anybody's language, and they understand what's going on, and they're good movies, as opposed to other big, similar movies like the Transformer movies, which are not, they're just not very good.
But we're rapidly approaching a time, with this globalization of film. Even 10 years ago, you had the United States was the main market, so you've got 250 million people that see film.
Sure.
Well, now with these theaters popping up everywhere all across the world, you've got these films are available to a few billion people.
Yes.
So I think we're kind of approaching a time where it's going to be really not impossible, but difficult to put together a film that loses money. We just saw Alita come through the theater here, a $170 million film. It's made 70 or 80 million in the States, but which would be a failure, 15 years ago. But because of this global market, it's done like $500 million, and it's in the profitable range. So it really is a changing time, and that's going to continue just to grow.
Right. Well, we have a caller on the line. Good morning. You are on the forum.
Yeah, Shazam. Yes, that's April 5th. We will be getting that. That's actually we're into the other comic book world there. That's DC. We got DC and Marvel Comics, but Shazam will be coming out April 5th, and that's Shazam's actually an old, really old character. Started right around the time of Superman.
Wow.
But yeah, this one looks. I think they're going PG-13 on it, but it looks like it might almost be a PG type film, kind of.
Everything old is new again.
Yeah.
We do invite your calls at 474-2427. Any questions about movies? Have you seen one lately that you especially would like to talk about? Your pros, your cons about it? Some other movies that are actually showing right now at the Sawmill Theaters include Wonder Park. Now that's a PG movie. Tell us a little bit about that.
That was just starting up today.
Okay.
And it's a PG movie. It's about a little girl, animated, of course, cartoon film. It's about a little girl who she creates a park in her mind. It's all in her imagination, so everything happens there. It looks like this is kind of and I've not seen it yet, but it does look like it was geared maybe towards a little bit of a younger audience.
Okay.
You know, we have How to Train Your Dragon,
Mhm.
that's actually doing great, you know, here and, you know, worldwide, but, this Wonder Park looks like it might be more for the younger kids.
Okay.
You know, pretty safe for everyone, I think.
Sure.
And it's really short too, it's only an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but a great cast, Kim Jong, Mila Kunis, Jennifer Garner, Matthew Broderick, and Kenan Thompson. You know, these are all solid, well-known actors. And they're doing the voices of this thing. They spent $90 million to make it. Of course, it's just open, so we don't know how it's going to do. But the really important thing about this movie is the villains. The villains. This girl has her own park, I guess, and then her mother gets sick, and so she can't do that anymore. And she wanders off into the woods, and she finds an actual park. And in the actual park, it's to be destroyed by chimpan zombies.
Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
and you know, he's the zombie guy. We have to
And-
circle around to the zombies here.
And it always comes back to zombies, folks, and please order out a copy of my book, A Gross of Zombies. 144
And
reviews
it's
of
really-
zombie movies.
It's really gross. I've got it.
A signed copy, no
Yes,
less.
really.
But so even in a PG movie, you know, we've got chimpan zombies.
That's great. We also have Stan and Ollie playing. So, and that's PG.
So another PG one, yeah, this is, you know, Laurel and Hardy. Kind of
Funny stuff?
A biopic.
yeah, there we go, yeah, I guess a biopic, there you go, that's a good word for it. Yeah, it's kind of their life and some of the things they went through. I've not seen it, it's supposed to be very good though, very interesting, you know, some of the stuff you didn't know about them and some of the issues they went through. And it's John C. Reilly as
Oh.
Stan or Ollie?
I'm not sure, which was the
I
heavyset
know.
one?
Stan.
Stan.
Probably Stan, yeah.
Yeah, John C. Reilly doing Stan, and looks like he does a great job with it.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Escape room. Wow. 6 strangers find themselves in a maze of deadly mystery rooms, and they must use their wife to survive.
That should be wits.
Wits.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Well, that would make an
Wife,
interesting
I'm not
story.
sure.
Sacrificer.
There's a sequel. A sequel in the making, okay.
Oh, give your mic to the wife.
Yeah, I think this one's a little bit, maybe a little bit like Saw. I don't know if anyone saw any of those Saw movies, but kind of a puzzle thing where you know, your life is on the line and you have to kind of work out a puzzle or get killed.
Sure.
It is a PG-13 though, so
Okay.
it's kind of a milder, you know, definitely a milder version of Saw.
Okay.
If you saw any of those, they were. Saw any of those, those films were a little over the top. But I said this is a PG-13, so if you kind of like suspense thriller type stuff with some, yeah.
Yeah, I know many of us in college were so poor as I was that we would respond to ads in the student newspaper from the psych department to go in and perform some task and get a little bit of money. Often I found, however, to my dismay, that they never paid you. They said, "Oh, we were just kidding about giving you, you know, $20 to do this. We don't have any money, so sorry."
Yeah, we're the psych department, we wanted to see how you would react to that.
Yeah, well,
Right.
they found out.
Yeah. They're not
that's-
telling us where the bodies are buried.
And that's kind of the setup for this thing too. Some young folks agree to do this puzzle project, and at the end of the day, they'll get $10,000. So you know, there's a real incentive for it. And so they go to this place, they sit down, and they wait. And they're told somebody's going to come in and explain the rules to them. Well, nobody does that. They just start turning up the heat in the room. They're actually not in a waiting room, they're in a giant oven, and they have to figure that one out or die.
Wow. That is suspenseful.
Yeah, so this is I mention this often, horror movies in general are cheap to make. By Hollywood terms, cheap to make. They spent $9 million on this one. The cast are people who are not familiar to us, even though they are, professional actors with the, long runs in television and so on. So they didn't spend much money making this, but already it's been out across the country prior to today, where it starts here in Payson. But it's made $133 million.
My goodness.
So,
Who'd have thought?
so that's, I don't know, that's an awful lot of money for the producer of this movie. I mean, it's tens of millions of dollars the producers have made on this thing. And that makes them happy, and it makes the movie, the goers, moviegoers, because there's a certain market for this kind of stuff. And I mean, I can't imagine going out there, you're fooling around in Hollywood, you're making a movie really of no substance or importance, and you get more money than everybody in Jamaica combined made last year, and it's all for you. I mean, what a wonderful business.
Why are you picking on Jamaica, Mike?
Well, just a small country, that's all I
Oh,
do.
it's small, sorry, I would tell you.
And this was, Paranormal Activity came out 5 or 6 years ago, but they spent, it was like $20,000 making the movie, and I think brought back $100 million.
Wow.
And it was just this, in a house with a handheld camera. They had 2 actors that, they found pretty much off the street. And it is the highest return, well, I believe it is still the highest return on any film.
Is that right?
So you do have that with horror films, this
Sure.
ability to kind of throw a little bit of cash at it and
And make
come
some
up
money.
with some big profits.
Wow. Well, it is 9:20 here at the KMOG studios. You're on the forum. Our phone lines are open at 474-2427. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Hey,
Yeah, you got- I am.
Is there any way we can turn up the volume on the headphones, because I can't hear the callers too much. That's
Yeah, we
better.
can hardly hear the caller
Thank you.
at all.
Okay,
Thank you.
You bet.
Laptop screens, fixing networking issues, repairing software and hardware, and much more. They can even pick up and drop off your laptop, fix it on location, or assist you
Yeah, we're kind of
remotely.
going into a whole
Contact Sam
horror
today
thing here,
at
Us next week, and then Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, zombie kitties.
If I go with you, you're gonna have claw marks on your hand. That's a scary one, zombie kids.
God, the director said they were going to try and make a darker Pet Cemetery.
No!
It's like,
That's
Jesus,
not
what was-
possible.
I know, it was pretty dark to begin with.
Right.
But
Hey, yeah.
Inaccessible to the large
Yeah.
conventional trash trucks. Great news.
They got that,
There's a new
John
company in
Lithgow in
country,
the trailer
off-road
that
trash
he's
company
going down the
called
stairs and that
Jennifer
little girl
Hill
pops
at
up and
928-951-0566
his foot,
for
the
great
Achilles
rates
tendon right
and
there, she's got a
Oh,
blade, it was like,
Oh,
I don't know,
Off-road
it's
trash
like,
company,
no.
951-0566.
cut that tendon.
Hey, who can we get to clean our house?
Oh.
At your service.
And those windows.
Probably not
At your
cut out,
service,
but
cleaning and
over
tree
the-
I had a
service.
friend who did that in college.
This is why I don't watch horror
Here,
movies.
and cut his Achilles
Hi,
tendon.
this is Tanya.
And it was,
We'll
it
take
didn't
care of you
bleed.
from house
There was
cleaning to
no
tree trimming,
blood.
pruning, elevating,
But,
and
I mean, you
removing
can see it
hazardous
was,
trees.
you can see he cut it out that deep and had to reattach and everything, but
Cleaning and tree service.
had to drive to the hospital and stuff. It was,
970-2084. Licensed,
creepy.
bonded, insured,
That's a really interesting
dependable,
movie on
friendly, and
Netflix.
And we're
affordable.
on intent.
Discounted rates for seniors
The
and
Outsider
veterans. Write
with
it
Jerry
down.
Lee.
970-2084. At your service, cleaning and
it's
tree.
huge stuff.
Yeah.
And we are back. It's 9:23. You're on the forum with Suzanne Michaels. I've got the movie guys and gal. I can't do that.
I know my
gender. We have Craig Trepon from the Sawmill Theaters. We also have Andy McKinney and Tina Terry in the studio. Good morning. We're talking about the movies that are currently showing at Sawmill Theaters. Our phone lines are open as well, 474-2427. What have you seen lately? What's your pick? What would you recommend for the weekend to go see? Let's talk about some of the other movies that are showing at the Sawmill right now. And we've got Cold Pursuit,
Yay. Andy and I saw that. It's very satisfying in a sort of grotesque way.
It was. If you wanna see a whole bunch of bad guys get greased,
It's so satisfying.
this is the flick for you.
Yeah, really. In various ingenious ways.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, most of them just get shot, but.
No,
but
the tree trunk through the roof of the car, that's
Yeah.
my fave.
Well, and at the very end, when that one guy is in the hang glider,
Yeah.
and that's unexpected. That is what we like to call gratuitous violence. It did not advance the story, but it was sure
Oh,
fun.
it advanced it for me.
Yeah, this is Cold Pursuit is a remake of a Norwegian movie, and it's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum from Captain Marvel and How to Train Your Dragon. Those movies were spectacularly successful, still are making oodles and oodles and oodles of money. But these guys, for Cold Pursuit, they spent $60 million to make it, and they haven't even got back to 60 million yet. And by my thinking, I mean, Craig knows more about this than I do because he's actually a professional. But the way I figure it is half the money goes to the producers, half the money goes to the theaters. And so they haven't even gotten halfway to where they need to go to break even yet.
Sure.
Spectacular fail on this, but still fun to see.
Hey, come on, Payson, you gotta go out and see this and help these producers in
And-
the
yeah.
theater along. I really liked it.
And how did you like the notifications?
Oh, those were awesome.
Tell them about them.
The notifications, every time a bad guy dies, there's this thing that flashes up on the screen with his name, his nickname, you know, if he's got some kind of criminal nickname, and some symbol like a cross or a Star of David or other stuff. I'm not sure what some of the other ones were. And it's just, it's so funny. It's kind of this gonzo view of, okay, yeah, he's down, okay, count, he's down. I loved that part. And then, of course, we also loved the little Vietnamese scene stealer, easy for me to say. This wonderful, funny, cranky woman. I mean, I need to take lessons from her. She's great. She was just hilarious. And every time she came on, I couldn't take my eyes off of her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a wonderful character, and this is one of the things that makes movies so much fun when they're well done.
Yes.
You know, or even when part of a movie is well done, you can still appreciate it. But there was no reason to have this character in the movie at all. It did not advance the story particularly, and the setup was
But it enriched it.
it enriched it. Oh, good
Yeah,
word
well,
usage.
English teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. It enriched the movie.
It did.
The setup is that there's a retired bad guy. You know, he's gotten out of the game, he's gone legit, and he's married now. And they gradually let you know how he and his wife originally got together. And she was working in a massage parlor and was skimming from the mob. And he was sent to whack her,
Yeah.
but he was so taken with her that instead of killing her, he married her.
Yeah.
And she's a
she is
little
just this
teeny.
little tiny
Yeah.
tyrant.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
I love her. I mean, I would like to see it again just to see those scenes with
Yeah.
her. Yeah,
Okay.
it's really good. So
So
go
did-
see the movie.
Okay.
Really, help the
The
producers. Help the theater.
storyline, the premise of the movie, just a little.
Oh, it's
tease.
vengeance. This
Vengeance.
guy's, Liam Neeson's son gets killed by the,
He dies from a drug
yeah, by
overdose or something,
drug
right?
lords. And so he goes and kills all the drug lords. Lots and lots and
All
lots
the
and
drug
lots.
lords and those associated.
Yeah,
with them.
around
Yeah.
them or in the vicinity, in the
And they
same
all become
state.
zombies, right?
No, not in this one. And at the very end, this guy flies his hang glider into the maw of this giant snow plow deal, a great whirling blade,
Ooh.
and it just chops him to ribbons.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie.
It's very satisfying.
Oh my.
To those of us who like that kind of thing.
So we're probably not looking at a sequel on that one.
Oh, you never know.
You
Liam
never know.
Neeson's still alive,
That's
and he's
true.
always doing that stuff.
That's true.
Rated R, rated R
Yeah,
for
rated R, and
violence.
pay attention to that, because it really is, it's blood, gore, and guts.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a good point. The movie industry goes through a lot of heartache to properly put the stamp on these movies. And if it's parental guidance 13, for heaven's sakes, don't take little kids to it. It's not for them. It'll be mystifying to them, and you'll have to explain stuff to them later that you don't want to yet when they're 6. So just don't take them.
Right.
You know, another thing, you can always ask us too at the theater,
Okay.
if you do have any questions. Sometimes these movies, they do have guidelines on these things, you know, on what makes a movie PG-13, what makes it R. But those guidelines can be pushed, and they do that sometimes.
Okay.
And one, you know, we had a Lita here that is gone now, that was a PG-13, and they really pushed it. So really, I guess if there's any question anytime,
Sure.
you know, feel free to ask us, and we'll kind of give you guidance on that also.
Good idea. What signifies a PG-13? Basics.
Well, you're going to have some violence in there, you know, some usually stylized, or it's going to be you know, superhero violence, that type of thing. They're not going to show anything too graphic. You're not going to have any, you know, bones popping out
Sure.
or anything like that.
Sure.
Language, you know, of course, another one. Language, nudity, you know, drug use. Those are the things they kind of look at on you know, blood. That type of thing is what they look at on those.
Okay.
But for instance, you can use the F word once in a PG-13 film.
Is that right?
If you use it twice, it goes to rated R.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't,
Wow.
what the,
And of course, R would be sex and violence and
yes,
language. and
sure,
things
sure.
like that.
Sex,
Yeah,
drugs,
the-
and rock and roll.
But like I said, they do push those, and usually it's pretty clear, but some of the movies, they, you know, obviously they do it on purpose.
Sure. And Cold Pursuit is in our movie, just.
Yeah, and
so
if you
They
think
seriously
of,
are, really.
if you think of black and white television and the cowboy shows, if you think of Gunsmoke, something like that, where somebody gets shot and they go, ugh, and they fall over. And in an R-rated movie, you get shot, your head explodes, you know, there's blood squirting out of where your head used to be, and, you know, that kind of stuff. As well as naked people and bad words.
Okay,
And drugs.
right.
Oh, I forgot, yes.
Lots of drugs.
Okay.
Hey, speaking of all this, we do have John Wick 3 coming up.
Oh, yeah. That's gonna be R.
Yeah,
I would
if you thought
guess.
Cold Pursuit was satisfying,
Right.
this one pushes the kill limits on it, so actually kind of looking forward to that one.
Right?
Keanu.
Yeah.
We're going to
yeah.
take another quick little break
Yep.
and take a look at the weather forecast, and we will be right back. Our phone lines are open 474-2427.
Banner Basin Medical Center,
Gotta
we
get the
have a
weather
new
in.
way
Yeah,
of
the
funding
final-
healthcare.
the final
For
chapter.
telemedicine.
Is it?
What is
The third
telemedicine?
chapter,
Well,
yeah.
not
The
only
second
does it
one
keep track of
sucked.
your vital signs while you're in the
Oh.
hospital,
I
it's
mean,
also how
okay.
bad
Oh, okay,
from
that's-
specialized hospitals
I
can
thought
be
the first
partially
one
was good.
murdered
The
even
second one
without
was
you
just-
leaving patient. Find out more at bannerhealth.com/health.
I appreciate, yeah, I agree with you. I did appreciate the death in the
Are you
bathtub scene.
experiencing slow drains?
I
Go a little
remember I
deeper
might
now
fall
before it becomes a real.
It is all broke down. There's a website you can go to, and it breaks down the John Wick movies onto how many kills there were, what he used to kill people.
Oh.
You know, and there's some, you know, two people with a pencil type. Strangled 3, gunshot wounds, what type of gun he used to do the
Oh,
shooting.
that's
It's,
it. My cousin like that.
someone really took up like too much time to do that.
KMOG weather forecast for Friday, March
I really like
15th.
the movies.
Well, it'll be sunny and windy in Rim Country today.
The second one was like
Winds and Pacers gusting around 24
137
miles an
people.
hour, with our
Yeah,
high
well, that's it.
expected to be
It got
around
kind of
58.
deadening after a while.
Up
You know,
on
it
top
was
of the
like,
red,
the-
it'll be windy
the,
there too, with a high only reaching
the
45.
girl gangster,
And our neighbors to the south end, Tonto
knew she
Basin,
was
and
gonna
those
be
visiting Roosevelt
murdered.
Lake. Your
So
high
she
on this
killed
Friday,
herself. But
68
they were
degrees.
in Rome.
Well, more
She went
sunshine,
into a
but
warm
a chance for
bath
showers
10
also
seconds.
headed back to
And
Rim
cut her
Country.
wrists,
When
which
can you
is
expect that?
exactly what
Look at your
Cicero did.
7-day forecast is coming up
Kiko,
right here on your
yes,
information station, KMOG.
And it is 9:33. You're on the forum with Suzanne Michaels. The movie guys are in the house with me today. Craig Trippon, Andy McKinney, and Tina Terry. We're talking about the movies at the
Yeah.
Sawmill
We
Theaters.
just touched on the John Wick films before we went on break, and I try to keep track, and it's hard. I tried to keep track with John Wick 2 of how many bad guys John Wick killed, and I couldn't keep up. There were just too many of them. And Craig, how many were there?
I think in the second one, 130 or so, 140 people were killed. The first one was a scant 85, I think.
Mirror.
Well, the guy that's doing these, the director is a stuntman. So he's kind of, I mean, you really see that too. I mean, the action sequences are pretty incredible, and it's terribly gratuitous though. That is sort of the...
Which is why you love them, right, Craig? Yes.
Well, you know, sometimes there's that point, you know, maybe you're having a bad day and
Yeah.
just go
Yeah.
watch some
Well,
carnage.
that's how I felt about Cold Pursuit. I was like, oh, yeah. That guy should all get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Wick films have done pretty well, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Okay,
And we see them on TV all the time too. It's
Keanu Reeves.
once a week.
Yeah.
he's popular. How about How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World? Tell us a little bit about that.
Another animated film. This is the third of the How to Train Your Dragon movies. Very popular, making huge money. This is another good one, rated PG, good for everybody, and
Okay.
yeah, everybody's liking it.
And this is a PG-rated movie that's aimed at younger kids, and it's aimed at only younger kids. There's nothing in this whatsoever to attract an adult, save for it's a safe place to take your 4, 5, 6-year-old. Sometimes in these animated movies, there have some stuff in there for the grown-ups too. Notably, the recent Lego movie was just chock full of cultural and movie references that, of course, the children would not get at all, but the grown-ups do, and that makes it a lot more fun. If you have to take your 4-year-old daughter or granddaughter to see it, it's good to have something in there for you, but not in this one. But boy, do the little kids like it.
Nice, nice.
When I saw it, when the theme music came up and the scroll at the end, 2 little girls, and I don't think they knew each other. Right? They were sitting in different places in the theater, but 2 little girls about 4 started dancing. And all the time, it's just just terrific. And all the time the theme music was on. They're just dancing and up and down and twirling around, and they just enjoyed it completely. And just to see how much they enjoyed it made me enjoy it even more.
Sure.
And it's it's a perfectly innocuous movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, besides what we've already talked about, what else can we look forward to for spring and summer releases at the movies?
Oh, lots of good stuff coming up.
Nice.
You know, I kind of want to go, Dumbo is coming up on the 29th, and we're going to get into this one too, but we're going to be doing a fundraiser for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation with that one too. That's coming up, I don't know that exact date, but that's going to be in the middle of April.
Okay.
A couple weeks after the 29th, so we'll be doing that one on a Saturday morning where you can come in and check out Dumbo, and we'll be
Very good.
sending those funds to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. So
We'll have details.
we'll talk about that more here over the next few weeks.
Okay, sounds
So
good.
definitely.
We have a caller on the line. Good morning. You are on the forum.
That'll probably be here another couple of weeks. Next week we've got us and Greta coming in. So that'll probably be, I think, Escape Room and Stan and Ollie leaving next Thursday.
I have not yet seen it. I was going to, and I got sidetracked last week, but I think I'm gonna try to see that today. Yeah, and I love John C. Reilly. He's wonderful. Yeah, anything he's in.
And Al, this one got something like 97 on the Rotten Tomatoes,
Yeah.
97% fresh. And for some reason, it really hasn't caught fire with the general public, but, you know.
Well, I'm not sure that they even think about those guys anymore. I mean, this is, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's right, it's today, isn't it? Yeah, it is today. Beware the Ides of March. Oh, Julius Caesar or William Shakespeare. I know my stuff. You bet. Yes. Marlon Brando. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that was an amazing version. I mean, really good.
That's right, no one pull up in her driveway.
If they pull up in your driveway, you won't be there.
Thank you so much for your call today. Alrighty, our phone lines are open at 474-2427.
I think we might want to just mention the classic movies because
Sure.
Craig does such a great job.
Yes,
Craig and his
absolutely.
staff. And last month was, or this month, was The King and I.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, so it was, Yul Brynner and Deborah Carr. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Nice.
And then next month, we voted on this, those who were there. See, if you come to the classic movie, you often get to have a say in what we're going to show next month. North by Northwest.
Oh, my
yes, Alfred
goodness.
Hitchcock with Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, James Mason, and the amazing chase down Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Yeah, and the plane. Oh,
That was
and the
my
plane.
mom's all-time favorite
Oh
movie.
my
I
God,
bet she
and it's
watched it
color.
100
It's
times.
color. You need to see it.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very
First
nice.
Saturday of April, right?
It's
Yeah.
April 6th,
Something.
5th or 6th.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can check the local paper for the time.
Yeah, paper on website.
Yep.
Sure. Sounds good. Is that sawmilltheaters.com?
It is.
Right on. Good. So we started to talk a little bit about movies that are coming to the summer.
Yeah. Like I said, next week we've got Us and Greta coming out.
Okay.
A couple of kind of thrillers. Us is already getting really good reviews. Looks a little strange. It's a family that's being terrorized by their doppelgangers. Another. I don't really know what's going on. It's definitely kind of a horror flick. Jordan Peele does this. He did Get Out, another one that got great reviews. He likes to put kind of a bit of a psychological twist to his films. So we're looking forward to that one. And Greta is Chloe Moretz.
I'm a little foggy about that.
Another
Yes,
suspense
you
thriller.
are correct, yeah.
Another suspense thriller type movie where this woman is trying to, is a bit of a stalker type, I guess, and trying to lure her in. So we got those coming up, but then we're into, Shazam is in April. Pet Sematary. Pet Sematary is April 5th coming up.
And why did you say they said it's scarier than the last one?
Yeah, well, darker than the first
I'm
one.
like, how
which is-
could?
Hey, we got, this one is really interesting, The Mustang. That is on the 12th. Yeah, it's a convict that gets into this program, kind of a rehabilitation program, working with horses, with wild horses. We're hoping to get that on the 12th. And actually, it's starting today, but they're doing one of those weird
Okay.
4 theaters across the whole country
Sure.
thing, so it'll be
Sure.
I'm sure a couple theaters in New York and a couple in California is usually the way they do those, and then they'll expand that. But we did talk to Focus Features the other day, and we're hoping on the 12th on that one.
Okay.
So looking forward to that.
And Craig, if I'm not mistaken, this is another of these based on real-life stuff.
Yes, yes, it is. And you know, actually, I had a woman message the other day, and she said some of those horses were from Arizona in this thing too. So
Wow.
a little bit of
Close to
a.
home.
Who's starring in that, Craig?
You know, I don't know his name. It's
Look it up.
the actor. You'd recognize him if you saw him. He hasn't really done a lot of big films,
Okay.
but he is a good actor.
Sounds
and
like it would be very interesting.
yeah. This is one we're, especially for Payson.
Sure.
Definitely looking forward to that. And then we're into May.
Right.
We got Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Aladdin's coming up. Is it John Wick? That's the time of the year we start breaking out these big
Sure.
blockbuster Godzilla.
Oh my.
Yeah, new Godzilla film.
What do you think is going to be the big blockbuster of the summer?
Avengers.
Yeah, it's going to be Avengers and Lion King. They're doing
right.
this new Lion King that's gonna make some money. But yeah, it'll probably be Avengers. I don't.
Now, it says in the Mustang, about the Mustang, that it is rated R.
Yes.
And Matthias Chonet, I don't know who he is, but cast, yeah. And Bruce Dern. Bruce Dern is still with us.
Bruce Dern, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Very seasoned actor there,
Ugh, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we just saw his daughter in something, didn't we?
Yeah, she was in Of a Cold Pursuit.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. She is there for a while, and then she's not.
Not to give anything away. She is there for a while.
Laura, but she's great. Yeah, I like her.
So what dictates actually how long a movie stays with you? Is it, the amount of people that come and see it, the interest in it?
Sure. Yeah. There's a lot of things that affect it really. Generally, we're required when we get a movie to keep it for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, at least 2 weeks. Sometimes longer, and Disney will dictate those sometimes. Generally Disney. I guess other studios can, but really Disney's the one that has the weight to do that. A movie like Captain Marvel, they'll hit us with a 3-week minimum or a 4-week minimum where we have to keep it.
Sure.
But generally it's just kind of,
Wait and see.
well, and see how many people are coming in.
Sure,
If a movie, we bring it in and 20 people come see it in a week, we're gonna get rid of it.
Right, right.
Well, what about the upside?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the upside, I
It's
think
such
been
a
around
great
forever.
movie.
Yeah, that was
6 weeks, I think.
6 or 7 weeks. Yeah, it was here a long time. I was actually shocked at how good that did up here. But yeah, another one that, we got that one late too. I think we had to wait a few weeks before we got that up here.
And if you haven't seen it, find it and see it. It's wonderful.
And this is like Cold Pursuit. Cold Pursuit is an American remake of a Norwegian film. The Upside was an American remake of a French movie. But, pretty much exactly the same plot in both cases.
Okay, we have a caller on the line. Good morning, you're on the forum. Okay.
Oh. Uh-huh. Huh.
And how'd you like it?
Yeah. Wow, fabulous.
Okay, very good. Good
Yeah.
information. Thank
Thanks.
you.
And that's another one we're starting to see too, is as, film becomes more global like that, we're seeing them switch back and forth. And,
Sure.
I'm sure they're doing American films in it's the same way, but,
Right.
they're remaking Norwegian films or Korean films and bringing them over here.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to mention a really odd film that my husband and I saw and we really liked, but we're not sure that a lot of people would feel the same way. It's called The Outsider. It's on Netflix, and it's with Jared Leto. And it's about a soldier after World War II in the 50s, like 1953, 54, who is there, and there's some question about whether he went AWOL, but he's in Japan. The whole movie is Japanese, with everybody else is Japanese. And he is an American soldier who becomes part of the Yakuza, the horrific Japanese mafia. I mean, these guys make the Italians look like wimps. And it's very slow. It's very paced to kind of the Japanese traditional, like the tea ceremony is very slow and very formal. But we found it absolutely mesmerizing. We really, really liked it. It's not a happy film,
Okay,
but it's a very interesting film.
The Outsider,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
And that brings to mind Yakuza with Bob Mitchum,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
set in the same
Yes.
time period,
Right.
more or less, post-World War II in Japan. And that is one of the great movies of all time.
Mhm.
It's,
Yeah, I agree.
boy, is it something.
Yeah. And remember, those old boys do a lot of tattooing and a lot of finger chopping. Ooh.
We're gonna take one
Yeah.
last break and we will be back. We're talking about the movies today on the forum.
Yay.
Wants to remind you that customer service is important to us. We've
saw
been
that.
serving Americans for over 50 years.
The Yakuza
It's glacial.
and the police from Japan.
Yeah.
They
Our
really are.
technicians have completed
Oh, hand in hand.
Yes.
vehicles with
And in Japan, if
Yeah.
you're charged for the crime, they can hold you in jail until you confess.
Yeah,
Or
right,
South
right.
Beeline Highway in
They-
Payson.
I mean, he
George
is
Henry's
really-
Plumbing, Heating,
I
and
haven't really.
Suites by Kim Ross is a
terribly
great
talented.
new
Well, he's
inviting
got-
setting
You know,
in
he's
which to
a
hold
musician,
client meetings,
musician.
employee training,
Oh, a
business
musician.
meetings,
What is it,
holiday parties, birthday parties, anniversary dinners, bridal
some-
showers, and much more. They have a
Mars,
fully equipped banquet room
he's the lead singer
available
of
that
a-
can
of a-
accommodate from 2
Is
to
that
50
right?
Of a
people.
legitimate-
These rooms are
Oh,
built
yeah.
for
Yeah.
use as a
Are they
classroom or
legitimate?
seminar room,
Well-known
meeting space
band?
for
Wow.
organizations and
Yeah,
clubs
he's not
and
just
on-campus
not just an
meetings.
actor.
You take
Uh,
a special
not-
care
not just a
and
funny
inform
face.
a comfortable
10 seconds.
environment to make
Mars,
you
I
feel
think.
right at home. Learn more
Okay.
online by visiting
He's really good.
suitesbykimross.com or call today, 928-468-5461.
Alrighty, it is 9:51 and 47 degrees. We're climbing slowly but surely. You are on the forum on KMOG. I'm Suzanne Michaels, and in the studio with me today, Craig Tripon, Andy McKinney, and Tina Terry, the movie guys.
And the upcoming Godzilla movie has a bunch of the old Godzilla monsters. I saw the trailer the other day, and it has Mothra and I can't remember the one that has 3 heads. I can't remember its name.
King Ghidorah.
Ah,
Yes, yeah.
Craig knows this.
That was from my childhood. I love that stuff. Yeah, Rodan, King Ghidorah, Mothra, a couple other, what was that weird little well, not little, giant armadillo guy. I don't know. All those things are fun. I like movies like that.
Yeah.
It's-
So,
and this is a gigantic worldwide franchise that started off with as a Japanese movie made with cardboard sets that their kids made, it looks like.
Yeah, the
And-
original Godzilla is
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, and a guy in a lizard costume going around stomping on these cardboard buildings, and it's turned into this, I don't know how many Godzilla movies there are, but there are lots and lots. There must be 20 or 30 of them.
Right.
Well, now with special effects, when they started these things 50 years ago, they were, like Andy said, there's a guy in a lizard suit, and they were pretty cheesy, but, now with special effects, you can throw a
absolutely.
200-foot Godzilla on the screen, and it looks pretty good.
Sure,
Um,
sure. I'm just curious. We'll go to each one of you separately. What is your all-time favorite movie and why?
Ah, here we go.
Yeah. Your pick of the litter.
The movie that I would sit down and watch again, which I think is the criteria, I watched it again 3 days ago, is a movie called The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Spectacularly well done movie.
Okay. Craig, how about you?
I was in 6th grade when the first Star Wars film came out.
Oh my
That's,
goodness.
Yeah, so that was a big part of my childhood. And
Star
love that
Wars
film.
fan.
Love that movie.
Okay, and Tina?
Okay, these guys all know, and Movie Land probably knows. Chinatown, Roman Polanski, Jack Nicholson, Faye Dunaway, and the great John Huston as the baddest of bad guys.
Yes.
And I don't know how many times I've seen that. I will see that anytime it's on. I
Sure.
will watch it.
And what's the detective say to Jack Nicholson at the end of the
He
movie?
says, "Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown." Yeah. And it's
Just-
such a poignant, horrible, sad, realistic line.
Yeah, no, that is just,
It's just
Brutally
it just
honest.
breaks your heart.
yeah, it does break your heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, our dear office manager here printed me out some things that are kind of interesting, so I'm going to kind of do a little quiz on you guys. They're most misquoted movie lines. What do you think this is from? Greed is good.
Oh, Wall Street
You know,
Yeah.
Street,
with Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1
Michael
point for
Douglas and
Tina.
Charlie Sheen,
Yeah, and Charlie Sheen. Yeah.
before he went.
The good
Black
old
Hole.
days.
Before he went south or north.
Oh, yes, the good old days. Well, these are
Both,
too
yeah.
easy, even I know
Yeah.
those. So, how about Hello, Clarice?
Oh,
Silence of the Lambs
All
with
right.
Jodie Foster, who was
Yes.
Clarice, and
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter, played by Anthony Hopkins.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Yes.
Very
Oh my
good.
gosh, where are these brain cells coming from?
Excellent. By the way, my favorite movie of all time, and you're all going to
Yeah.
laugh, so I will scoop you off the floor after you're done, is The Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
It's just
no, I'm not
a-
gonna laugh.
I
I'm going
have-
to rejoice
I
and
have a
sing
whole
the
wall
songs.
in my house dedicated to The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, it's a wonderful movie.
Signed poster,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
name it.
Oh,
It's
wow.
just,
Those monkeys were creepy though.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
you know, we've all known people
Yeah,
kind of resemble them.
I know some of those guys.
I'll stick my flying monkeys on you.
Yeah.
How about a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do?
I'm drawing a blank.
We're gonna go back a little ways, and I'm sure this is all before all of our times.
I know it, I just can't, I
Mhm.
can't lasso the file.
Okay. Oh, she's gonna look it up. Till there. Actually,
Yeah.
the Duke is his claim to
Okay.
fame. Actually, 2 movies he said this in.
Really?
Yes, he said it in 1939's Stagecoach,
Oh.
Yeah.
and he said it in 1953's Hondo.
Hondo.
Yes, yes. Let's see. Here's another one. I'm out of order. You're out of order. The whole court's out of order. What's that
Hey.
from?
Al Pacino? Oh
Tom
my
Cruise.
gosh.
No, Tom Cruise.
Al Pacino is correct. What was
Yeah.
the movie?
Oh, it's a courtroom
I
movie.
can see these
I'm
little
hunting.
clouds.
Yeah, I'm hunting.
Uh, not Men of Honor.
Not sure.
That's okay. It was called And Justice for All.
Yes, yes. I just saw that recently too. Yeah. Good
This
movie.
one's
You
almost
should have
too easy.
remembered.
I know. It's having a senior moment.
This one's too easy. This is one of my all-time favorites as well. I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
Apocalypse.
Robert
Yeah,
Duvall.
Robert
Oh,
Duvall.
Loved that movie. Loved that movie. Let's see. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Betty Davis, All About Eve.
That's right. And we have ways of making you talk.
Godfather.
This is, of course, before our time as well, but
Some war movie with Germans?
Stalag 17?
How about 1935's Gary Cooper, okay, The Lives of a Bengal Announcer.
Oh.
Does that ring a bell?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. that's-
Vaguely,
that's right.
not enough to remember it.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe not a huge hit, but
Yeah. Well, I think it was then though. Yeah, Gary Cooper, big time.
very big.
Yeah.
And then Run, You Fools.
Um,
Ian McClellan
Yeah.
said that in a movie. And Craig, you
yeah,
should know
yeah, I'm going.
this. Come on, I know.
It's right there. Lord of the Rings.
There you go.
Yeah, Lord of the
You've
Rings,
got
yes,
that
when the-
correct.
Excellent.
You
You shall not pass, yeah,
That's it. And
yeah.
we have time for just a couple more. If you build it, they will come.
Oh, Field of
Field of
Dreams.
Dreams.
Kevin Costner.
Right. Gosh, these are just way too easy. Beam Me Up, Scotty, of course.
Star
Oh,
Trek.
Star Trek.
Sure.
Yeah.
Me, Tarzan, you, Jane.
Tarzan.
That's right. Yeah, but was it Johnny Weissmuller
That was
or
a
what?
tough one. It was Johnny Weissmuller from 1932.
Yep,
Gosh,
yep.
we're
Oh,
running back
boy.
a ways. So, yeah, those are the most misquoted movies.
Well, and also Play It Again Sam was
Oh,
never said
that's
in Casablanca. It's, he said, play it Sam,
Right.
playtime goes by.
See?
Yeah.
See how we get things
Humphrey
misconstrued?
Bogart, yeah.
Well, just a few last seconds. We invite you to visit the Summer Theaters this weekend. Take part in a movie and bring the family. Have a fun day.
And read this week's Payson Roundup.
Yep.
I had a movie review in on Tuesday, and I have another movie review in on today's paper Friday.
All right. He's all over.
He's all over the place.
That's right. I want to
Yeah.
thank
And he's,
Craig
wearing
Chirpon.
the pizza, the cat pizza shirt too.
Craig
Space
Chirpon,
Pizza
Andy
Cat.
McKinney, and Tina Terry. Thank you so much for being on the show with me today. The Diner is up next. You're listening to KMOG Payson.